Tell me.
Next up, at UFC Atlantic City, we have Dennis Buzukja taking on Connor Matthews. Dennis Buzukja, 11-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off back-to-back UFC losses, unfortunately. He is taking on Connor Matthews, 7-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 2-fight win streak into his official UFC debut. And this is going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be a close fight. Wait, do I have these images wrong? Please hold. Son of a B. I don't have the second image here for Dennis Buzukja. I don't know how I messed that up. But anyway, Connor Matthews can be pretty good. And he can win this fight. He is a volume striker. He moves forward. He throws everything that he can, but he also receives everything coming his direction. He does not have much in the name of striking defense. He'll land it and he'll absorb it as well. You're going to see that 5 of his 7 wins are by submission, and you're going to make some snatch judgments there. You're going to assume that he's a grappler. And while he does have okay takedowns, he's not a pure grappler. Most of those submission wins are coming from snatching things up in scrambles. He's not hunting for submissions. It's not really his game plan. He'll find it. I don't know what that is. He'll find it against the cage. He'll climb up the body. He is a dangerous guy to be near. But again, you don't have to stand there just waiting for him to shoot takedowns. He's taking on Dennis Buzukja. And I love that that's his name. It's a wild way to spell it, though. But Dennis Buzukja with a J is a come-forward wrestler. He's got good striking. He does have guts. He is tough. His striking technique is clean. He's got some power. He's aggressive with his takedowns. Pretty good wrestler, pretty accomplished wrestler. I've compared him in the past and will continue to do it, and they train together, to a Matt Frevola. He fights very similarly to Matt Frevola, where he's got the good wrestling. He's got power in his hands. He will come forward. He's a little more technical than Matt. Matt will just stand there and bang in a firefight, where Dennis will actually try to keep it technical. He's 0-2 in the UFC. Lost to Sean Woodson. Short notice, UFC debut. Just couldn't take him down. Sean Woodson was literally too tall to take down in that fight.
You had that same issue.
There you go. And then he came back and he got knocked out by Jamal Emmers. But we talked about Jamal earlier. That guy hits like a freight train. And it's a tricky fight because Dennis Buzukja is a good fighter. And we haven't seen it yet in the UFC. So we're just assuming, well, he might just be a journeyman. And he might. And that's what's hard. Like, until you see some of these prospects actually win in the UFC, you just don't know how good they are or are not. In this case, he's not fighting a UFC vet. He's not fighting Sean Woodson. He's not fighting Jamal Emmers. He is fighting another UFC newcomer. I think Dennis Buzukja wins this fight. I think the wrestling can get it done. I think he can avoid the submissions. He's obviously at a team with the Marabs, with the Aljos, with everybody else, where he is training all the jiu-jitsu in the world and tons of wrestling. And even though Connor Matthews lands 1 million strikes, there's not a ton of power there. So Dennis should win this fight. He should be able to avoid the danger on the ground and get the win. Dennis Buzukja is going to pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I believe that this fight is going to come down to heart, toughness. I mean, both these guys are dogs, right? Dennis came in less than a week notice versus Sean Woodson, who's tough to fight anyway, and it was kind of getting beat on, was getting out wrestled, was getting controlled, but he showed his toughness. I mean, he was hanging in there. There was even one part. What was it? At the end of the second round where he reversed the position. Also, he's like wailing shots. Everyone's like, oh my God, he might fucking finish Sean Woodson right now. He's got all the heart in the world. And Connor Matthews is the same type of guy. I mean, this guy is like an Air Force special ops type of dude. He shows it in his fights, right? He's getting hit, but he doesn't give a fuck. He's moving forward. And luckily for him, honestly, the guy that he fought in his Contender Series fight, that Brazilian, is a long, rangy, dynamic striker. And he was able to withstand that, land his own shots, right? Dennis Buzukja is not going to be that dangerous as a striker. So I think from that aspect, it's a little bit of an easier fight. And I think Connor Matthews can get some takedowns. This guy is a good grappler. That's really what he wants to do. He will hang out in the striking if he doesn't feel too in danger and he does have good volume. He can kind of wear people down. But in a fight like this, where I think it's going to be a little bit harder to wear down a guy like Dennis, we saw Dennis getting taken down by Sean Woodson, and I think that was more of like a fatigue type thing, more than a technique, but he was getting taken down. And I know that Connor Matthews can take people down. He's got some decent takedowns, has really good control on top. I think that Connor Matthews is going to be able to dog this fight out. I know he's the underdog, and he probably might not even be the more well-rounded fighter, But I think that this gets into the second and third round, and it's Conor Matthews the one moving forward, shooting some takedowns, getting some control, and winning this fight. So I got respect for Dennis for what he did. Kind of got buzzsawed a little bit by Jamal Emmers in that next fight where, I actually thought he was going to be able to win that fight. But I like Conor Matthews here. I think he's going to be able to dog this shit out, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tricky fight. I trust the wrestling, and that's what's funny about stats. If you look only at these stats, you would think Conor Matthews is the better wrestler, and I just finished telling you that he's not a nonstop wrestler. A lot of those submissions come from scrambles and literally climbs you against the cage. I'm going to trust Dennis. I'm going to trust the wrestling, but man, until you see that first UFC win, it is so hard to do somebody with your money. So I'm going to continue to monitor the line movement. It yo-yos a little bit. Dennis works his way up to minus 150. It comes back down. And then it starts to swing a little bit the other way. So I don't think people know what to do. So I think it's just going to sit sort of kind of close here. What's Dennis at right now? He's like minus 120 earlier today.
Oh, was that my cue to do something?
You usually have it up, usually like so
minus
quick.
127.
Nice. See? And that's
looks like?
What, who looks like?
Dennis Buzukja.
What does he look like?
Don't you think it kind of looks like your cousin?
Anthony?
Big Tony? Yeah, I think so.
No, Anthony has like Jew curls. This is fantastic. He doesn't look like Anthony.
I think it looks like Anthony. Both good looking gentlemen.
Oh, we all look alike, don't we, Jacob? All non-gingers look alike. What a joke, dude. What a joke. Yeah, we're all just tall, tan, with beautiful thick hair, and you think we all look alike. What an absolute joke. You know what? If you guys want to become premium members and help me get out of this dump so I don't have to do the show with this guy, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 for an entire month. And you'll get everything you could ever want or need heading into fight week. We will also send you $50, completely unrelated to premium membership. Anybody in this world can go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, use the link to sign up with any one of our betting partners, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. It's that simple. WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit. We send you 50 smackerinos. And you'll also, and you could use those $50 to sign up for premium membership. We'll unlock things like the safety parlay, the tools, and everything else.